Have you ever noticed how sometimes, even when someone says all the right things, you just get this, like, nagging feeling
Mm-hmm.
that something isn't quite adding up? Or maybe you leave a conversation thinking, okay, what was that actually about?
Yeah, totally. It happens all the time.
Well, it turns out a huge chunk of our communication isn't really about the words themselves. So today, we're doing a deep dive into that hidden stuff, the power of your tone of voice and your body language.
That's right. And our mission here is to unpack some, honestly, really eye-opening insights from our source, why people don't listen to you, and how to fix it.
Okay.
We want to explore how these silent signals shape how people see you, sometimes completely overriding your words, and, crucially, how you can get better at managing them consciously so your message actually lands.
Right. Make it resonate, not just get sort of technically heard. Okay, so this hidden language then, the source, it kind of hits you right away with this powerful idea.
Mm-hmm.
Our brains are neurologically wired, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Wired to prioritize nonverbal cues. It's not just a small influence.
No, it's like a primary filter.
Mm-hmm.
It often processes these silent signals faster
Yeah.
and sees them as more truthful,
Yeah.
especially if there's a mismatch.
Exactly. So if you say, oh, yeah, I'm perfectly happy with that decision, but your voice is maybe flat or you're speaking really slowly,
Right.
the listener's brain grabs onto that vocal mismatch first. That's the power of tone, or what the source calls vocalics.
Vocalics. Okay.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how that breaks down, Things like pitch, pace, volume, the inflection in your voice.
So like a slight rise in pitch might signal you're not sure.
Precisely. Or if your volume drops suddenly, maybe that reads as nervousness, even if your words are super confident.
Huh. So the voice is like an instrument.
Yeah, playing this emotional score right alongside your actual script. And if the voice is one instrument, well, then your body is playing a whole symphony.
Okay, yeah, the body language. Kinesics, is that the term?
That's the one, kinesics. It's like its own silent speaker in every single interaction we have.
So things like having an open posture, making eye contact, but not like staring.
Right? Consistent but comfortable eye contact. Using gestures that fit what you're saying.
All that stuff broadcasts confidence, right?
Yeah.
Engagement, trustworthiness even.
Automatically, it sends those signals, which, raises that big question. What happens when that silent symphony is out of sync with your words?
Yeah, the mismatch again.
This is where the source gives us a really critical insight. When your words say one thing, but your tone, your posture, your facial expressions say another.
Our brains trust the nonverbal stuff.
Almost always.
Yeah.
It defaults to trusting those nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
So imagine you're giving a presentation, maybe about something you're genuinely passionate about.
Okay.
But maybe your shoulders are kind of hunched and your voice is really monotonous.
The audience is going to think I'm bored or I don't believe it myself.
Exactly. They'll likely perceive you as unenthusiastic, maybe even untrustworthy, no matter how great your words are. It's this fundamental mismatch that just undermines everything.
Okay, wow. So if these silent signals are that dominant, how do we even begin to, like, control them or master them?
Well, the good news is it's possible. The source gives some really practical, actionable steps. It's not about being fake, though.
Right. Not about putting on an act.
No, it's about building genuine self-awareness, really understanding what you're currently doing.
So how do you do that?
Well, there are techniques like mirror practice, literally watching your expressions and gestures as you talk.
Okay, I can see that being a bit awkward, but useful.
It can be, and also self-recording, videoing yourself or just recording your voice.
Yeah.
That lets you hear your vocalics and see your kinesics, how other people actually experience them.
Seeing it from the outside.
Precisely. And these aren't just superficial tweaks. It's about digging into your kind of unconscious communication habits. Like, lots of people don't realize how much they fidget,
Or maybe how their voice gets higher when they're nervous. Yeah.
Exactly. So by identifying those patterns, you can consciously start to realign your internal state with your external delivery. It's building that self-awareness so your body and voice actually support your words.
Not undermine them.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So wrapping this up then, what's the big takeaway for you, the listener? I guess the core insight is this. Real communication impact happens when everything works together, right?
Absolutely. Your expression, your body, your voice, all in harmony with your words.
Think about it. How often have you felt something was just off in a chat?
Yeah.
Even when someone said, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah, you just knew. It was probably those silent signals broadcasting the real message, loud and clear.
So the takeaway is really about focus.
I think so. By focusing on your tone and your body language, building that self-awareness, practicing consistently, You can genuinely transform how people perceive you.
And make sure your message isn't just heard, but actually felt,
Yeah,
understood on a deeper level.
exactly. So maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about a conversation you had recently. Like, really picture it. What silent messages might you have been sending or receiving, beyond just the words?
hmm And what could change if you consciously adjusted those signals? Just a bit. If you let your whole self communicate your actual truth. Something to think about.